We are back. Now trying to remember, what was I doing? I remember I wanted to tear things apart because this assembly here is not the way I want that to actually go. I also want to get all the local stuff here all together. But I'm making plating, which will mean that I can get the next objective done. Okay, so the miners are going to be easy to do. Just got to build some. Wait, what is? All right, yeah, that's the awesome sink. All right, let's build a couple of these. We want to get all those untapped resources collected together. Okay, so we've got 4 iron mines around that are all tapped into. And we are at that copper mine over there when there is one close by over here that is better. Uh, I'm not surprised. I am not a smart man. Is Yep, I've run by this thing a few times, and this was absolutely where I should have been getting my copper from. Wow. Definitely riding the James is not super smart train this day. Or I guess everything up till now anyway. Maybe I'm getting smart now. Let's see. Is there untapped limestone around? Nope, I am tapping all of the limestone. Is there any Caterium around? I don't think I've seen a node. Alright, so there are some that are not too far away. Probably the easiest one to get will be that one. But it depends on where it is. This one might be easier. Oh, but there is sulfur out here, so that would mean if I go this way I can get both the sulfur and the Caterium. Alright, well, let's gather up the resources we need for that space elevator. So and I do like having that to-do list option where I can just put that up. Okay, so we need the iron rods. Iron plate, which I'll have more than enough of. Check up on where our... Sweet, we have enough reinforced plate to finish this milestone, which will give us Mark II conveyor belts. We will need that.
Milestone reached. Improved versions of conveyor belts and conveyor lifts are now accessible. To encourage additional verticality, conveyor poles now have a stackable variant.
I guess we do jump pads next, but that is going to take a bit more time. But let's get that space out elevator built. Hey noob, how's it going? Oh, come on. I know exactly. Right there is where I wanted to go. Find it amusing, you see all the resources like fly out of you and fly into the building. Alright, the space elevator is ready to accept basically the, I don't know what you'd call it, but basically the cable that actually connects it to outer space. Okay. So we have our space elevator plan underway. Absolutely not. It is nice to have someone come over and chat when you're just playing. I think that's one of the things I like about live streaming is just the fact that you can have some interesting conversations with people while you're playing. Okay, well, now that is done, I'm going back to project expand all this crap. I think my plan is actually I want to expand it out this way. All right. Now let's go out. We want to go 8 of these to keep our spacing the same. Go 8 that way. Let's get that verticality in. I'm kind of looking forward to having catwalks because then I can just make this all a lot easier. You're waiting for dawn for the fasting start. Is this some sort of special holiday or special event going on, or is this just a normal occurrence? I did not get that. Let's get that right there. Okay. So now what I need to do, basically that iron mine or the iron refinery can stay right where it is, but then all of the assemblers are going to go to this side. So we're going to take these away. Now we do want to increase the efficiency of what we're outputting there, but that's kind of beyond our current problem right now. Right now, it just all right. I want assemblers, and I'm going to want them down, starting down at this end. Let's have them facing this way. This should work, I think. Have a plan. Actually, no, so what I really want them to do is feed this way. We'll start actually from this end. We'll start with the containers. So the container goes about that far, so the assembler for that container could go right here. In the game? Do I have unlimited electricity, or are we talking real life? Because in the game, I do not have unlimited electricity. I need to, basically, currently I am able to use 130, which if I actually used every bit I could, I would actually exceed that. But right now I'm consuming around 70, 80. That snapped up to about 9, like just shy of 100 there. So my power grid is going to be insufficient here at some point. Let's just put this to right here. Oh, I am missing. Right, I am missing wire. Yeah, right now I'm just on bio burners. Basically, I take trees and plants, convert them into a solid fuel. This right here, I'm turning it into these basically cylinders of fuel pellets, and that's what I'm burning. But like this right here, these right here are my power plants, as well as I've got some power plants on the back of the hub here. Yeah, it's definitely the power scale is a bit aggressive in this game. It starts with you start with megawatts. You start with like 20 megawatts of power, which is a lot of power. Like, I don't like basically a simple factory doesn't need that much power. But okay, so we've got that going. Now what we want to do is just before this goes in, we want to, what I really want is I want a conveyor belt to come off of that, but I'm going to have to put a splitter here. Then yeah, I can just attach that. Now I do have to get down. This is going to be a bit of a walk to do. Actually, I have a theory on this. Alright, let's attach that. Hey Michael, how's it going? So it's going to be a nice warm weekend for you. Quite possibly warmer than I would ideally like. Now, of course, yeah, I should be able to get them over there. That's fine. Might end up having to like build a secondary layer underneath their foundations. Ones that are not, basically build like an undercity essentially. I think I might actually do that. It'll require a little bit of rebuilding on some of the stuff, but I think it'll be good for the long run. Basically, if I build a second, so if I build a platform right here, yeah, that's a good amount of room, 4 meters tall. Plenty of room to move stuff around. Of course, do not have enough concrete to do that. Okay. Okay, so I need to get to right over here. So I take conveyor belts from those. Bring them over here. I really am just picking the option of I'm going to hide it all. Not making it actually pretty. Just burying it all underneath the platforms. Yeah, I don't want my weekend to be quite as warm as yours, Michael, but I do hope we have a nice weekend. Oh, right. I did not do that because I needed wire. I totally sidetracked myself from what I was doing. I'm going to have to expand this power a bit soon. Okay, so all of that is good. Power line there, and we need a power line to this corner here. Which we will bring down to here. Hop over to the other side. And hook up to here. And our device has power, and we want it to build reinforced plating. Now, what do we want the next one to make? Also, I need rotors. Well, hey, maybe that's the thing I need to have them building. I need to make them build rotors. When I remove a power pole, it basically just gets converted back to its raw resources. So when I make a power pole, it takes 3 copper wire, 1 iron rod, and 1 block of concrete. When I unmake a power pole, it just returns to those basic resources. So there's no cost to breaking things down in this game. Oh, and a rotor is iron rod and screw. That's actually very convenient for me to work with. Well, Michael, whether basically every country, whether superpower or not, is basically always trying to make things basically try to set things up so that they are working in their best interest, and that's just every country is trying its best to do that. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay, so this needs iron rod and screws. This is getting iron plate and screws. Now we do need to split off from here. And basically do what we did on the other two there, which I realize now we probably have a better way to set those up. But okay, I'm going to start this whole process of going down a layer. So I realize if I layer my factory this way, I can basically walk off the edge and not worry about it, which would be nice. I can basically move down easily. And then I'll just build everything at this layer from here on in. Of course, it's not perfect because I picked the height I'm building at because that kept me above the dunes. So my underlayer is going to have to work around the dunes, but I'm okay with that. I can work around things to some extent. Oh. And everything shut down. I may have run out of fuel. That would be one of the things that would cause me to run out of power this way. Wait, where it is? Okay. We'll take down this line and rebuild it better and stronger, or so the theory goes. But it's the same way, Michael, like, yes, everyone's watching the US's every move, but everyone's also watching, like, China's every move. Everyone's watching Russia's every move. Realistically, even countries like Canada, Mexico, everyone's watching everything they do as well. It is just that what Canada, Mexico, and like, say, countries like um, India, what these countries do doesn't matter quite as much just because... Wait, why are... Something's gone wacky here. What's going on? None of these are... but yeah, basically countries have to always be watching what the other country is doing. It would not work out for them if they didn't. Okay, well, we got that set up. Let's... No, it's got to be on the wrong side. But wrong side where and how? I don't know. That looks like that is actually correctly set up. So now we come out of that and are going to make our way that way. So let's start our... So we make that turn right there. These are going to go along right here. Now I should still be able to stack all this vertically if I really need to. I mean, Canada has less power to do anything if they get mad. But the US also needs to be a lot more careful about everything they do. Canada can afford to be a little bit more just do what they think should be done, where the US, anything that makes someone go, you know what, basically what the US just did is a mistake. People are willing to take that risk a lot more. Meanwhile, if Canada does something that people view as a blunder, there's less to capitalize on. Like, I think it would be a very interesting thing if the US were to ever invade Canada. Because the US to Canadian military, it's very clear who would win that part of the conflict. But the entire thing is it becomes more complicated than that. Alright, nothing's producing because power got shut down up there. I need to go fix that. I also need to put stuff to that. So let's take a look. What happened with our power? Did we run out of fuel? fuel here. May have just exceeded our power grid, which means we'll just have to build another. Yeah, okay, we must have exceeded our power grid, so we'll have to build more. Need reinforced plate for that. Hopefully I was actually reproduce plate before all this broke. Alright, I got a whopping 8. Oh, I just need regular iron plate. I can do that. Okay, and we're going to build a little bit more than we need because building these is actually... The more of these you build, the less each of them is burning on their own, which actually means that you are being more cost. Basically, you need to refuel them less frequently because each one is burning through its fuel source a little bit slower. What's the giant tower? This giant construction here? That is a space elevator. It's how I'm basically going to be shipping goods off of the planet. Because that is basically the goal of this game, is to take goods on the planet and ship them off. I've been put here so that I can turn this entire planet into a factory and basically export its raw resources, or I guess it's refined resources. Okay, there. So our new maximum power consumption is 163, and our new maximum capacity is 190. I swear that was 130 still a while ago. I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. Oh, I was probably over here. It gives you a timeline. Yes, so it was 130. I have upped it to 190. So I added 2, and I actually did need both if we hit peak capacity. Oh, none of these... So one of these hooked up right. The others all hooked up wrong. Alright, well... Let's take this out. We will do this again, but actually hooking stuff up because, oh, this is kind of frustrating. We'll just say annoying and leave it at that. We'll see, that might go a bit further out than I need it to. Definitely goes up further than I needed to, but you know, that's what I have things set to prior, so we'll just keep with that. So we'll just rebuild this further out. Okay, and so what I needed is I need this to split. Why? So why was that angled? Or is it not angled and I'm just imagining things? Because we've got a pretty good gap between us and... No, so that one angles over this way is what goes on. This slowly is angling in. Okay, so this one needed... Oh, well, this is going to get complicated. It's going to get really complicated. What if Russia invaded the US? Russia would then stop existing as a country and life would move on? I think if anything has happened over the course of this Russia Ukraine war is the fact that Russia has proven that it does not have the military needed to stand on a world scale right now. It's one of those things that's almost been funny if it wasn't also costing a lot of lives. Russia's image of being a world power to match the U.S. has stopped being a current and correct image. Yeah, Russia has never been a threat equal to the US. The USSR was a different deal. The USSR um, wasn't a problem because Russia was just that powerful. The USSR was a coalition of nations. Basically, it was a lot more than just Russia. As Russia fell apart, basically when the USSR collapsed, Russia stopped being a threat. Alright, so both these need screws, but there's also going to be a case of these coming down, and this one needs screws and rods. Alright, well let's just carry this on moving. Oh, I've run out of cement. That's fair. Man, can't wait to get jetpacks. Oh, before I get too carried away, I did disconnect an iron mine over here that I will want to not leave disconnected. Actually, let's save myself some trouble. If I hook that up, and we go to that height. That should work. That should be a reasonable way to connect that. And I am out of metal plates, which I need to make everything. All right. Well, I think it's one of those things of it's pretty unavoidable that the US has the most advanced army, but that doesn't mean that they would beat everyone in a conflict. And it doesn't mean that they should not try to rely on peaceful means of basically diplomacy first, essentially. But it is, I find, a very interesting question of the Russian military was considered to be on par with the US, but with the whole Ukraine conflict, we're basically seeing exactly how that spins out. I think the Ukraine war is a really good example of exactly what you're saying, Noob. Russia should not have started that war. They made a mistake, and now they are basically paying for that mistake. Because they're the bigger country, they have the bigger military. Basically Ukraine can't stand up against them, so they went ahead and declared war. And now they're stuck in a war. They can't just leave, but they're not able to win it. So now they're just stuck there fighting, and basically it's not going to go well for them. No matter, even if they manage to win the war now, it's basically too late. The damage that's been done to basically Russia's position in the world isn't going to go away after the Ukraine war has been resolved, regardless of who wins it. Yeah, and that's why I think I wouldn't say that like the Ukraine war and the Afghan war are very different conflicts, but in both cases, the larger country hasn't necessarily won that war. Like Ukraine war, it definitely looks like Russia is currently losing it. And then with the Afghan war, the U.S. is there for a very long time and basically just didn't accomplish anything. It's not that they lost the war. Like on a military front, they won every single conflict they basically went into. The problem being is it doesn't matter because what did they accomplish with it? They didn't accomplish anything. So all of that just ended up being basically coming out to being a total waste. All right, we'll feed this in here. Okay, let's just get all of these fed in first. Oh, I see a problem with my proposed plan here. I'm going to have to rethink what I'm doing. Okay, so that's where we get that from. I think you're getting things mixed up there, Michael. Afghanistan was not about weapons of mass destruction. That was the reason used to justify the invasion of Iraq a little while later, but it was not the justification for the Afghanistan war. The Afghanistan war was pitched as the war against terror. It was the war against Al-Qaeda, which if you look at Afghanistan, who's in charge of Afghanistan? Al-Qaeda. So that was a war that was completely and wholly lost. The mission stated of that war has not been finished to date. And I've heard the special forces guys who basically were in Afghanistan and were like boots on the ground, and they basically sit there and go, you know, we could have won this war. We really could have won this war. What it was is they should have gone to Afghanistan and basically take control of the areas they need to take control of, and then basically spend their time building schools, building wells, building infrastructure to basically lift up the people of Afghanistan. Make them have a life that's better than the one that was given to them by the basically the political leaders they had at the time. That's how you get a country to basically step up and go, no, we want to not go back to the way things were. Basically, you needed to win that war, you needed to convince people to change how things were going to go, and that did not happen. And whether the U.S. actually believed that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction when they got that war going, I have my doubts, but either way, it doesn't seem to matter much. The reason given for starting a war very often has very little to do with why the war was actually fought. There's just wars are a bit of a, I won't say myth, but they are a thing that gets mentioned a lot, but happen rarely. It's kind of like I'm just thinking of there's a game called Crusader Kings I actually really like. I mean, Michael, if you look at it, according to Russia, they had a reason to invade Ukraine. They basically say they're not invading the Ukraine. They are just basically going after the Nazis that are in the Ukraine. It's all justifications. It's all we need a reason to do what we want to do, so we will make up a reason. At the end of the day, just wars are not a thing that generally actually happens. It's how do we justify doing what we wanted to do to begin with? And the US does it, Russia does it, China does it. Uh, every country does it to some extent. Canada doesn't. The reason why, like the reason everyone seems to accept that those wars had to happen and were always going to happen is that those areas are the areas that what are we getting caught up on? So we're feeding out. Okay, so basically just our in feed is our limit. Okay. I mean, I definitely, so for me personally, I am not indifferent when it comes to US versus Russia. In the current world, like political scale, I would much rather deal with the US having power to do things than Russia. But what that really just comes down to at its basics is the fact that uh, Russia is a country that it's a dictatorship. Um, it is not a country that is basically it is a country that is very, very blatantly and clearly just after doing what is best for the oligarch, whatever. Basically, the extremely wealthy. The U.S. it is very much in the same sort of place. It's just that there is still a system that could, in theory, hold that in check. It probably won't. And depending on how the next elections go, that whole hope of that might be gone. In which case, the US becomes very much the same sort of place as Russia. But no, it's worldwide is always justifying wars that there shouldn't be a justification for. Okay, let's not lose track. What was I doing in my factory? Right, first things first, get that iron hooked back up because we need iron production back online sooner rather than later. I do think the danger of the Ukraine war is to think of basically it's a David and Goliath fight. it's very easy to look at him and go, well, Ukraine's a small guy, they're the good guys, and it's like this is war between um, basically huge countries still. Yes, they are the small guy, the guy who stands to lose the most. That doesn't make them the good guy. In the basically world scale, there doesn't tend to be clear-cut good guys and bad guys. If someone wants to basically sell you a very convenient hero-villain narrative, they are trying to sell you something. All right, let's go a bit further. Let's try that. Well, I'm not very happy with that either, so we'll go back to the way it was before. Pawn in the hands of God. Okay, I'll have to take a look and see if I can find that. Okay. So now we've got a bunch of these are getting fed. We're going to find out which one of these backs up first. I'm pretty sure if Canada tried to invade Mexico, US would just go, no, you're not doing it. And Canada would go, crap, and not be able to. It's very hard to invade another country when you don't share any borders with that country, and a country who's going to want to stop you is between the two of you. But yeah, basically, in like the whole thing with the Russia-Ukraine war, basically the reason why I look at it and go, yes, this is, I would consider myself to be supportive of the Ukraine side, isn't because I really sit there and go, Ukraine is a good, wonderful country, and Russia is a bad country, and more just comes down to is Russia is the aggressor. Russia is the one invading. So we can use this outputs 30 minutes. This uses 15 per minute. It's going to be the same deal here. Meanwhile, this one, oh, yes, these are both, and then these are doing 30 per minute and outputting 20 per minute. But now I need to, what is what each one of these iron mines outputting? Actually, yeah, so first things first, let's get these hooked up. Not quite visually what I want to do. Let's do that. And we want this to be a splitter. Nope. Well, this may have ended up having been an unwise way to do this. Okay, well, looks like that has worked for the most part. Messy, and I don't like it, but for now this is going to work. Okay, so that should, for now, get me building the things that need building. So that's the entire thing of like, I understand the entire reason why Russia does not want NATO to have military access to land that close to their capital. Basically, losing the ability to limit your enemy, because NATO and Russia are enemies. Wait, did I mess this up? I messed this up. I'm pretty sure this one's getting rods, so if we just put this to rotor, yeah, and this side's getting plate. So if we just swap these around, this will work. But that was a bit of a flub. All right, let's get this set up. Nope. There. That works. Excellent. So right now, the only issue here is, of course, I am not putting out nearly enough screws to power both of these well. But technically, this is working. So we are at a very low rate putting out everything we need. The goal now is just to increase that rate. Hey, Farming Sins, how's it going? say, Michael, I too work in a factory. It just happens to be a digital one, and I also don't actually get paid for being here, so it's entirely different, but it's also kind of the same. Okay, first things first, I want to go to all of the mining facilities around here. Mark them, put them on the map what they're outputting. Okay, so this is 120 iron. I just realized that does not do it. Actually, it doesn't matter. Just zero that out. And we move on down. Alright, noob. I hope you sleep well. Thanks for coming and hanging out. We will talk to you later. There. So this is copper 60. Okay, so that one is marked there. Oh wait, what? Did I not? Let's see, let's remove that marker. Yeah, apparently I did not save any of that. That's annoying. Okay, let's try that again. It is interesting that it lets me bring the saturation past 1. Normally it's on a scale of 1, like 0 to 1. But if I put it to 100, it actually shows up as something. That is definitely interesting. which there is still, yeah. I have not mined out that copper there. Yeah. But Michael, isn't 95 by your standards, you know, kind of chilly? Okay, so that's limestone at 60. And we carry on. Yeah, for me, 95 is fine, but that is very much getting into the higher end of the spectrum of what I want. Like, I won't, actually, I would say I won't complain about 95, but depending on the day, I would probably complain about 95. If I'm outside working, I'm going to complain about 95. 95 is warm. Yeah, for me, that's the thing of 95, I'm not happy about it, but also it's fine. It's not the end of the world. 104, it's too damn hot. It's just too damn hot. That's all there's to it. I don't want to deal with 104. Whenever I deal with 104, I'm just gonna call that too damn hot and call it a day. I'd prefer not to. Oh, I did not bring a biofuel to power that. That's unfortunate, but that's also fine. So this is limestone. See, I wish I could just copy an existing marker. Stopping me from picking up manually as I come through here. Oh, some Caterium. Best thing I find, at 104, I'm basically surviving with the help of AC, largely. And it's not that I need AC, I can survive without it, but it's like too hot for me to want to go for like a motorcycle ride or something. So I do basically become more reliant on AC at that point. Well, it seems like the water glitches out a bit if you let yourself get low in the water. Everything's nice and clear when you're not viewing it through the water. Basically the distortion effect. Is this iron out here? I think this is iron. Oh, there's more iron out here. Is there like a bunch of iron here that I've... No, this is copper here. Alright, you wanna fight? Let's do this. Alright, so more copper over here. This will be actually good. I can probably use this to feed into the awesome sink. Impure copper is going to be 30. Dang it. And that's going to be more copper out there. I think one of the big problems out here is people are not used to working in the really hot temperatures, so they don't basically pace themselves well. And so you get people getting heat stroke a lot quicker. There, got it. All right, so this one is... Dang it. We'll just leave it at that for now. Of course, I didn't actually get... So, that one over there. Alright, well, we'll get this sorted out eventually. Yep, it's going to be a hot summer. It's going to be a very hot summer. Oh, that one was marked. I just am not very smart. Yeah, your summer's definitely gonna be hotter than my summer. Alright, Mecha, I will still be here when you're back. You know, all you have to do is not want to fight me. So a large part of this is just big, open, featureless desert. And really angry armadillos. Armadillo hogs. Sweet. Now we've got some pure iron over here. Alright. Gonna have to be less spitty than that. Yeah, I'd be happy to let you survive if you were just a little less angry. Spitty moose. An acceptably spitty moose. This doesn't. What is this? Is this just really? Oh, this is just a boulder that can be blown up. That's what that is. That's another spitty moose. Not gonna go fight him. My health's still trying to recover from the last one. There are resources there. Resources that are valuable early on. Kind of surprised to see these big dudes out in the desert. You'd think they wouldn't be able to survive it very well. And there's something angry at me. I think it's stuck up in the rocks. So we're gonna ignore it and keep on going home. So this is 60 iron. Geronimo! Right, so this is another 60. I'm pretty sure I can remember this is a impure copper node. Impure, impure, and normal. Wait, that's not that one is, that one is. That one has been claimed, so I'm marking those differently. Okay. So right now, I mean, first things first, iron is the thing I need to be producing more of. So let's get that going. Alright, so that iron is outputting 120. Conveyor belt can move a maximum of 60. But I could, in theory, upgrade that conveyor belt, get more out of that. But then this up here is only using 30, so like even with that, we're not using enough of. So we need to get more iron outputting here at the top. Welcome back, Michael. What do you make your factory? Or what is my factory making? At the moment, it is making a lot of very basic metal goods. I'm basically just taking raw iron, converting it into refined iron, and then that refined iron is being used to make like plates, rods, screws. Screws are the most complicated thing I'm building, really currently. Well, let's just take some of the stuff we're building here. And we'll toss it into the Osmo sink. We'll get something going through to begin with. Because currently we've got nothing going into the Osmo sink, which is fine. Oh, the Osmo sink, I guess, does need power in order to work. Alright, let's see what I can research here. Yeah, no, seems to be no mini Milo today. Let's take that back over here. I could turn Caterium into... Oh no, I don't have quite enough to be able to go to that level. That's fine. Do I have enough of... Okay, let's just grab all the stuff I have here. See if I can research any stuff out of this. I've got the biomass. Oh yeah, I can totally research that. If I get 1,000 wire, I can just do that. Alright, let's go for it. 1,000 wire will be easy enough to pick up. I mean, in theory, 1,000 wire is easy enough to pick up. I should have there with the amount that I had from prior. I am one short. Woe is me. Can do that. Bingo.
Pocket dimension has been inflated.
Means I can carry more stuff now. That is nice. Well, that's not the stuff I can get, so then I'm able to make a rebar gun, which is a terrible weapon, effectively, but it is still a ranged weapon, which means I won't have to just like whack him with a stick anymore. That'll be an improvement. Alright, let's toss all this stuff back in here for now. Alright, well, we're using that as fast as we can, so I'm just going to toss the extra in here. It's not really good for anything. Like, it's not actually useful to put in here, but let's see, got some coupons. Let's go spend them. Let's add that to the cart. Alright, to the cart and buy it all. Now we get a nice double ramp. That'll be useful. Okay, and that power goes to those two, so if I kick it over here, I guess I can kick it over a little bit further. Okay. Oh hey Milo girl. How's it going? I do agree, 95 is hot. Okay, time to shift all of this over. We're gonna get these two producing iron plate. See, what happens if I just go and get them producing screws? No, it's just, we have to rethink how I'm doing all of this. Alright, we're just going to do this the good enough way for right now. Both of them produce iron rod. Because that is these are outputting iron rod. And they are mostly just iron rods going straight through. There is one factory producing iron rod. So the iron rod factory, so we're outputting 15 iron rod using 10. So that means between these two, they can feed 3 factories that are just producing screws. Oh, that's too far away. There. That is also going to be the same case of, so we want the middle one to be a merger and the outer ones to be a splitter. Because then what I can do is put this to here. Basically they will feed no, so it's supposed to be a splitter, but it's supposed to be a splitter at a different angle. There. So now all of that will work as soon as we get power and everything set up exactly where we need it. There, that produces a screw, screw, screw. So we've got 3 factories that are producing screws. Now we just need to get resources to them. And we're going to take this away. So this is just feeding that full of screws, doing nothing else. Now to get underneath there and get iron, raw iron to the start of that production line, which won't be too hard. Most of these are producing more than they can, or are outputting more than they can actually use. so this comes from that one, which is iron 60. That one's iron 120. So the first one can feed 2, but cannot feed more than that. That is fine. So that's fine, but I need that too. There, okay, so that should work. They say I need them facing the same direction, because so that splits, goes to there, that is fine. Now this next one feeds 120, which is more than... So if we do 120 to 3, this is going to be massive overkill, honestly. Actually, I should be able to, not cheat it, but simplify things for myself a little bit here. So I want it to be on that line. That looks right. Okay, so then I want mergers on these two, but then a splitter on this one. Splitter with the right intake and output on that one. There, and that should feed enough to all of those. Although, now that I realize that I said that, that means it will need Mark II conveyor belts to actually do that. There's a lot of thinking involved. Thinking is hard. Oh, the game audio is glitchy? Okay, so now that should be essentially fed there completely. Oh, these need to be set to actually be inputting what they're going to use. What do you mean you have no power? That doesn't seem right. What is this all going to if it's... Alright, fine. Well, power will just come from there. Alright, we will take the pretzel twist while you're away, Milo. As long as we don't take away the pretzel twist while you're away. Okay, so then we want these all to merge. Okay, so now we just gotta go down. Now this is gonna hook up to right over here, which is kind of almost hilarious how close it is right to where we need it to be. Okay, so screws now have the ability to go where they need to go. Now I just need them outputting at a high enough volume to make that work. There. Now I should be getting enough screws put out, which has for the most part been the hold up on these. I mean, that is probably good that you don't use cotton swabs to clean your ear. It's not super healthy to use cotton swabs for that, because it can damage the hair in your ear, which is what you use to hear. Okay, well, gonna run out of biomass sometime soon, so time to go chop down more forest. So I really can't get this, can I? Alright, well, fine. Some plants will survive, simply because I don't have the capabilities to harvest them, apparently. There's some really nice shade overlooking that miner over there. Let's go wreck it all. I definitely don't use hydrogen peroxide to clean my ears. I don't... I guess that'd be fine. I really don't use hydrogen peroxide for much. The only time I use hydrogen peroxide is if I have a wound that I am being very particular about. Alright, so if I do chop these with... Yeah, I get all of those. But I don't get those... I can't just pick those up. No, I can't harvest a slog, eh? That's unfair. say, can't wait till I can automate power. And also stop destroying green spaces, just for the sake of destroying the green space. At some point that'll happen. I'm actually surprised that it really hasn't been that hard to find trees and plants to harvest. I thought out in the desert it was going to be harder, but I started near an oasis, and I haven't run out of stuff yet. So we'll keep on going, breaking miles hard until this place is completely barren. Then we'll go look farther and wider. Oh, power grid has shut down. Probably just ran out of fuel back home. Not out of like fuel total. I still have a container just filled with fuel, but did run out of the fuel that was equipped, or basically that was in the inventory of the power plants. That's gonna be some more sulfur. At some point I'm gonna have to start mining an actual sulfur source. But for now I'm fine to just do it this way. Somewhere there's an artifact.
You are so lucky that you found this most valuable artifact.
I do really look forward to finding out what the plan with these artifacts are, because there's artifacts that you can find, but they don't really seem to do much at the moment. They're not, whatever they're planning on doing with them hasn't been put in the game yet. So much greenery destroyed. So I haven't had Skittles in a little while now. So I think it's time for me to go and get more Skittles. Oh, this was very nice, lush green area. Now it's this. There. Okay. What is this? Oh, just iron ore. Okay. It almost looks like it was silver or something. Once cookie ban ends? Yeah, I wonder how strictly that's been enforced. I would put my money on not very. Banning the Cookie Monster from cookies doesn't seem like it'd be very effective to me. See, so many leaves, so many, so much wood. It's a good thing the game doesn't worry about how much weight you're carrying. Got so many trees packed away at this point. There it goes. Okay. Making huge amounts of progress. Like my inventory is just packed full of stuff. I should get going back to base to actually fill them so my factory keeps on going. As in, you might give Milo a Taki ban, or Milo's going to ban you from Takis? I'm guessing that's going to be Milo's going to keep you from going to Takis, because you're the one who... Yeah, okay. That's just an artifact? Yeah, that's just an artifact, okay. I mean, being banned from something that has nicotine in it sounds like, yeah, it might just be an intervention. So anything that's got nicotine in it is so basically it's a high risk of being addictive. Okay. I think we've more or less cleared this out. Mind you, there's always a little bit more, little patches of green that I go, oh, I haven't cleaned all that up. Haven't completely destroyed the ecosystem here. Oh, what? Just, oh, yeah, we've gone far enough that way. Let's go back this way. Yeah, I did not successfully defend against either of those. Alright, well this shore is nice and clear. But we've come back to a point where the other shore has plant life on it. That's unacceptable. But yeah, that entire side used to be a nice lush forest. Not lush forest, but like nice. The oasis was very green, very lush. It is now barren and desolate. Alright, well, I think it's time to get back to base and get our power back up and going. Nice thing about that space elevator is you never have to worry about where is home. So okay, we go out there, we kill the plants, leave the desert more deserty. You don't want green in your desert anyway. See, and there's more forest, more oasis over there. So the way we cleared the oasis over there, we're going to go over there and clear that too. And then the desert can be really, really deserty. And I get power out of the deal. Everyone wins. I'm happy. The desert's more desert. It's good for everyone. I think it's very good. Okay. Run out of fuel. Run out of fuel. Also run out of fuel. These have not, because these are using less, or are basically outputting less power. So they are not running well. And we reset, and off we go. Maximum consumption is 220. Maximum capacity is 190. So if we ever hit our maximum consumption, we will absolutely short circuit this. So we're going to need more fuel soon. Meanwhile, how are things going here? Should be getting a lot more screws going through. Means we should be getting a lot more of what we need. There. That should help get enough screws to all the places that need more screws. I still do need to finish upgrading. This. So I need 11 to do that one, 27 to do that section, 25 for that, and then I'll probably need another 25. So I need quite a bit more. I mean, Miles' day was probably going quite well until we started stressing her out. That would be my guess. So maybe I'll have to play some Little Big Factory to get Milo's stress levels back under control. Say, what do you mean I started stressing out? Don't pretend like you had no part in this, Michael. Bringing up the cookie ban and the Skittle ban. You had a part to play in this too. Alright, let's go see if that was enough to go upgrade all this stuff. Alright, that should do it. We upgrade this portion of it, and that should be all tier 2 conveyor belt now. So that should be coming in there at a good speed. But okay, I think that's going to be what we can get done today. And I don't know if I'll be around tomorrow. This is a weekend, got a lot going on for me. So don't know if I'll be around tomorrow, and also still not sure if I will be around on Saturday. But if I am not around on the weekend, then I hope you guys have a good week without me. Well, let's go see if we have enough to send that away. We're so close. And if not, oh yeah, got just barely enough. Excellent. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Hopefully we'll see you at some point on the weekend. And launch.
Milestone reached. Several buildings aimed at factory traversal can now be accessed in the build menu. Caution is recommended during use of these products.
But for us to be able to upgrade further, we need to get that space elevator moving. But anyway, yes. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Hope you have an excellent evening. I also hope you have an excellent morning, afternoon, however many times I need to say that between now and when I see you next. So, thanks for coming and hanging out. We'll see you next time.